Hello everyone and welcome back to your piano lesson. If you are here for the first time, I am Gianluca Fronda, your virtual piano teacher. If you want to discover interesting facts about me, you can watch the introduction video of this channel. I'm leaving the link in the description of this video, where you will find also the link for my artistic channel, Gianluca Fronda, pianist and composer, if you're interested in original music and covers. Talking about this channel, don't forget to subscribe and let me know about yourself by commenting. Tell me when you have started, if you're finding my channel interesting and you're improving your skills also thanks to my videos. And don't forget also to share with your friends if there is anybody interested in piano music, anybody that you know. So now time to go to our lesson. It's time today for the 11th music theory lesson. Today I want to talk about the triplet, and for a comparison I want to also explain the syncopation using one semiquaver, one quaver and one semiquaver. So I repeat, today we'll talk about triplets and syncopations using one semiquaver, one quaver and one semiquaver. But let's start from the triplet. So you have obviously understood until this point that we have been always dividing the music values and then the beats in two identical equal parts. We started dividing the semibreve into minims and then the minim in two crotchets. You know that we can also use the American language, but finally I think you understand which one is the comparison: semibreve whole note, minim half note, crotchet quarter note. So after dividing the minim, the half note, in two crotchets to quarter notes, we understood in one of the last lessons that we can divide also the crotchet, the quarter note, into equal parts in the half counts, in the quavers or eighth notes. But today, facing the triplet, we will have to understand that it's finally possible to divide the beat, the count, in three identical equal parts. Three identical parts. And how do we do it? Obviously we write three notes, that could be, for example, three quavers. Let's start from the Triplet of Quavers. And we add on top of these three quavers joined using a beam, long line, we will write a number 3. Let's start writing triplet. We will focus on the triplet made of quavers, as I was saying, and they will be written in this way. And writing on top of them a number 3. Obviously it could be even with head down and the number 3 on top of this line. The same identical thing, yeah? Okay? So with the number 3 on top of the beam, on top of this horizontal line. Let's now obviously try to understand in practice how we can then let each note be identical in terms of length, because we have to mind the length of the notes. Otherwise we don't really play the triplet. What I suggest you to do, if going back 1 second to one of the last lessons, the one where I explained the quavers, I have told you that to make it simple, when you have the quavers, you simply count adding. Now I want to do in a easier way. For example, 2 quavers, I want to write them really far away from each other. You count doing number and then you add and. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now it's not obviously enough, and we have to try to find a way to give a name also to the last one. And what I usually suggest to do is this. I want to give, also in this case, to the first note of the triplet, the number. Could be 1, 2, 3, 4, depending on which one is the time signature. To the second note I want to give and. and to the last one I will give, for example, A. And also in this case I'm going to use et, yeah? Remember that whichever element is fine, whichever it is. Number and day, so 1 and day 2 and day 3 and day 4 and day could be. At the beginning, to make it easy, if you find it complicated using number and a, you can do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's important that they are identical in terms of length. That's all you need to keep in account. Let's give a few examples. For example, in a 4/4 time signature, you might have, let's try to place, I will give you 4 examples, once a triplet on the first count, once on the second, on the third and on the fourth. So we are starting now from one that is on the first count. And because then the problem will be the one of learning how to swap from a 2, so from a binary subdivision to a ternary 1, or from a ternary, like in this case, to a binary 1. Now, pay attention. Obviously we have to remember to write on top of the triplet the number 3. It will be 1 and a 2 and 3 and 4 and in practice it will sound 1 and a 2 and 3 and 4 and I do it again 1 and a 2 and 3 and 4 and you can start maybe clapping the rhythm 1 and a 2 and 3 and 4 and you have noticed that the speed of each of these ones of these 3 notes is definitely higher than the speed of the half counts. Okay, then we can have one that has simple count note on the first beat, and then we have a triplet here. But the story is identical, it doesn't change anything. And voila! So it's simply 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and in practice 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and also why not on the second count? In this way nobody can say that I didn't give enough examples. It will be 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and 3 and a 4 and yeah, in practice 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and it is obvious that you have to add also the number 3 and this kind of arch on top. The last is a triplet on the fourth count we can do. And that's all. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a. In practice, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a. I also try to create something that is interesting. Anyways, that's all regarding the triplet. And now, what about the syncopation that I was mentioning? The syncopation using pay attention, 1 semiquaver that you have just learned in the previous lesson, 1 quaver and 1 semiquaver. This one is very complicated, I can understand it's tricky. It can be also written in this way, obviously joining the elements with 2 lines at the beginning and 2 lines at the end, 2 beams, yeah, here, and keeping just 1 for the middle one. It's enough that you don't connect also the second line. A little bit, stop, stop, a little bit. Okay? This is the syncopation semiquaver, quaver, semiquaver. Now, why do I want to use also this example today in the same identical lesson? Because you can easily understand that we have also in this case three notes. Three notes, same as the three notes that you need in the triplet made of quavers. It's really likely that you can get confused. And this is something that I noticed 99.99 of cases out of 100 when students not well trained come to me and they play these syncopations like a normal triplet or in whichever way they think. It's not the case. You have to now be careful because you have to understand how to divide and how many elements you have to keep in account. To solve the technical problem, the rhythmic problem of this syncopation, you have to refer constantly to what I've explained last week. To the four elements, to the four semiquavers, making one count. Why? Because this syncopation that I've explained now is nothing else than this block of four semiquavers with the second and the third notes joined tied. But anyways, when you connect two notes, two semiquavers, you know that you make a quaver. And indeed, it's exactly the same identical story. It's one semiquaver, one quaver, two semiquavers together, and one semiquaver at the end. But you have to respect the length of the middle element now, that is made of two semiquavers. Indeed, today I think that we can talk about the tie as well, otherwise it won't be clear to you. This rhythm can be also written in this way. Look. The middle note expressed now using the two semiquavers, but these two semiquavers will have to be tied. The tie is nothing else than the same identical curved line that I've used here, but when it connects two identical notes, is considered tie. It means that you have to add the value of the first and of the second note, and you don't struck, you don't play the second one. In a very practical example, let me complete obviously. Et voilà, so there are four semiquavers, and the middle two ones are joined with a tie. In a very practical way, if I do, for example, touching the first line, then adding the tie, and considering all of them semiquavers, I have I have expressed exactly what I was explaining here. It is one A-end, but you play on A, you don't play on end, and you play again on the A after end. You do one A-end. Again, you have to do one A and A. And, that would fall here, is only in your mind. Number, A, using at, and, for example, I add on top, and A again. One A and A. A is in your mind, but it exists, is related to this note, to this quarter of beat, or 16th of bar. Okay? So, this syncopation can be written in this way. And now indeed, I hope it is clear why I am comparing this syncopation to the triplet made of semiquavers, because we have three notes, but you have to simply give extra length to the middle one, The middle one has to be twice the length of the first or of the last. One A and A, two A and A, three A and A, four A and A. And you know what I will do now to explain even more and to help you? I will write the same identical example in this way. So, the first one would be using the syncopation will be. And you will notice that it's completely different. It's not identical at all. So this is a semiquaver, yeah? And cheek, and cheek, and cheek, and cheek. So if here it was this one, yeah? The one with the triplet was 1 and A, 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now this one made of semiquavers, the syncopation will be, pay attention, 1 A and A, 2 and 3 and voilà, 1A and A, 2 and 3 and 4, and it is obvious that you have to work very hard now to avoid that you rush these notes. You can at the beginning keep counting, dividing into halves also the quavers. In this way, 1A and A, 2A and A, 3A and A, 4A and A. I have divided everything, all the counts, in 4 subdivisions of second degree. 1A and A, 2A and A, 3A and A, 4A and A, 1A and A, 2A and A, 3A and A, 4A and A. Obviously it's not needed to play also the other ones and write them in this way, because it's the same identical story. I hope that it's clear now why they are completely different. One is 1 and A, 2 and A, 3 and A, 4 and A. The other one is 1A and A, 1A and A, where this one is only in your mind. 1A and A, 1A and A. Give an accent. You can indeed add the accent. Imagine that there is an accent, because indeed it exists. Yeah? And also, remember from today on, what does it mean, this line, when connects two identical notes. Always, always, always can be, you can find two, obviously it's not at all related to what you see now. It can be related to, you can find a tie connecting two quavers, for example. Yeah. You can connect two crotchets, but whichever they are, yeah. I'm writing always the, but you can use whatever. You can connect also two minims. And this is a tie. Written in this way. Tie. I know that is not the easiest topic, this one of the triplet and of the syncopation. In theory, I think it is not too complicated. In practice, it's complicated, but try to do your best and try to work very hard to adjust your perception of the rhythm. Okay? Anyways, if you have any question, feel free to comment, don't hesitate. Finally, I noticed that some student, some subscriber is starting commenting, sharing his experience, her experience studying piano and following also my tutorials. Feel free to do the same. If it's the first time you're landing on my channel thanks to this video, don't forget to subscribe, and see you in the next one. Thanks, bye.